Hi ladies, my name is Lindsay. I'm the founder of my team Gracefully Balanced, and I'm the coach that's going to be hosting this sneak peek group over the next few days. Thank you for choosing to be a part and to join us. But before we really get started and begin digging into topics, there are a few things, 5 things that I want to go over today that you need to know about coaching, things that make a great coach so that you can decide if this is a group that you need to stay in and invest in, because we want to honor your time. We are all very, very busy people. So let's touch base on these so that you can make a decision now before we get started. Okay, so the first thing that you need to know about Beachbody coaching is that this is not a get rich quick thing, okay? Beachbody coaching is a relationship business. Relationships require trust, and trust takes time. That means that you can build a business with integrity, which is what we all want, but you have to know that that takes time. As a Beachbody coach, we are paid for our skill, we're paid for our heart, and quite simply put, we are paid for the number of people that we're able to help. We are not paid for the time that we log in. This isn't like your traditional job where you punch in and out the same amount of time and then you get paid the same amount of money. Let me explain that for you. As a new coach, you punch in to whatever time that you establish as your working time, which can change on a day-to-day basis. It just depends. But you punch in and you are putting in the effort and you're getting paid for your skill as a new coach and for the number of people that you help as a new coach. Well, when we get started, most of us don't have these coaching skills. We don't know about social media. We don't know about, health and fitness necessarily, other than we know it's important and we're willing to work on ourselves. But that skill grows with time for all of us, so don't be intimidated by that. And the number of people that we help grows in time as well as we become more confident and we learn to share our story. So as a new coach, you're putting in the time and you're getting paid a little, okay? That's just the truth. There is a lot of money to be made in this business, and some people do find great success pretty quickly. But in general, as you're just getting started, you may not be earning that much immediately, okay? But then fast forward, say 6 months down the road, you're becoming more confident, you're becoming more knowledgeable, your skill set is growing, and the number of people that you're helping on a regular basis is also growing. Therefore, you're earning more money when you're punching in and out probably the same amount of time. Fast forward a year down the road, you're realizing what's possible. So you might be punching in the same amount of time, or you might be like, okay, I'm going to give this business a little bit more because there's clearly a payoff over time. And your skill set continues to grow. The number of people that you're helping continues to grow. You're getting reimbursed more. This business is not rocket science. It's a very simple business that if you are consistent with over time with the vital business behaviors that we can share with you and teach you to do, there is just so much to be gained from this opportunity. And I can tell you that being in this business about 2.5 years down the road. So that's the first thing. It's not a get-rich-quick scheme, which you wouldn't want it to be because you probably would have avoided something like that. You want to join an opportunity that has integrity and a lot of potential that you have to work for. If it was easy, everybody would do it, and there would probably be some sort of catch, but that's not the case. All right, so you do have to work hard, and this does take some time. Okay, so the second thing is, as coaches, we have got to lead by example. We don't want to be salespeople as coaches, right? I know that was one of my biggest concerns when I got started was I do not want to be icky and salesy. So I hope that you don't either. And maybe you have a background in sales and that's your jam, and that's okay. Figure out a way to use that strength and build your business with integrity. But for most of us, we're not salesy people, and that's exactly what we want to avoid. Well, this is how you do it. You lead by example. You are willing to go first, and you're willing to simply improve on a regular basis and walk your talk. You are using the products. You're trying to be a little bit better every day, and just believe a need for improving yourself. When you have progress and a journey to share, you're speaking from personal experience rather than trying to just talk up a product or share someone else's experience. That makes it personal to you, that allows you to build with integrity and keeps you from feeling like that salesperson that none of us want to feel like. The same applies with your business and your team. As you get to that point, where you are leading other coaches, you have to lead them by your own example as well in those business activities. You can't just preach that to your team. You have to actually live that out, which is a very fulfilling feeling. So you have to be willing to go first and do your best. That doesn't mean that you have to know the ins and outs of leadership. Most of us haven't had significant leadership opportunities in the past where we feel like that's a skill that we're very confident with. You learn as you go, and those leadership skills are developed as you're simply willing to just go first and do your best and even fail forward. The third thing that you need to know about being a Beachbody coach is that you don't have a boss, okay? Which is great, but there's also some responsibility there. Now, you have some of the benefits of having a boss, things like receiving a paycheck, order fulfillment, awesome recognition and appreciation. You have those things. But the other stuff, the micromanaging and being told what to do or working for someone else's success, you don't have that. You are partnering with the company that is Beachbody, but you are independent, okay? Now, that independence is awesome. Don't be scared by that, though. You are independent, yet you're part of a team. So if you're my guest here, or you're someone else's guest from the team in this group, and you decide, okay, I'm going to do this, you're joining a team, and you will have an upline coach that are there to support you and encourage you and provide you with resources that you can use to build your own success. This isn't a dog-eat-dog world. This isn't a dog-eat-dog sort of business, this whole Beachbody coaching community, which is so refreshing because that's the case in most other realms of business. It's very competitive, and you grow by trying to surpass someone else. But here we are all truly growing together because we offer so many unique things about ourselves, which we'll get to in a minute, and help different people. But this is truly a community of rivers where we're sharing rather than being reservoirs and just keeping everything to ourselves. So you don't have a boss, you are your own boss, and you're independent, but you're still part of a team. So you do have to have the discipline to work hard and just be willing to try different systems to figure out what will work for you so that you can manage yourself and you can manage your business. Okay, so those first three things were, it's not a get-rich-quick scheme, which none of us want it to be anyways. You've got to lead by example, and you don't have a boss. You are your own boss. You're independent, and you're part of a team. Okay, so then the fourth thing is that you have to be you, which I love this. And that might sound cheesy, but it's important to note because when you get started and you're admiring a bunch of coaches, you might say to yourself, they are so great, but as much as I relate to them, I'm not exactly like them, or I don't have the life experience that they have, or the skill set that they have, or whatever the case is. And those are awesome things to admire, and some of those are things that you can learn in time. However, it is important to be uniquely you because you bring something so special to the table with your own skills and your own gifts and your story of where you've come from, that there are going to be very specific people that we call your niche market that you can help in a way that probably someone else can't. And that allows you to build a business that you really enjoy because with time, as you figure out who that person is and who that community is and who your market is, you truly enjoy working with people that you can help the best. So it is important to stay true to who you are, no matter how cheesy that sounds, and to be uniquely you, not to feel limited by how you differ from other people, but just to figure out what your story is and what your strengths are, and feeling empowered enough to use those gifts. Coaching can be so encouraging and therapeutic in the fact that you get to take the good and the bad of your life, your wounds, your gifts and your talents, and you get to share those with someone else. It's a little bit scary in the beginning to be vulnerable, but it's also so freeing and so empowering, and it has allowed me personally to actually end up kind of ministering to other people as I help them and as I serve my family and provide financially. It's pretty awesome. So you got to be you. And then finally, I'm going to try to keep this one kind of short. You've got to have a why. And you might hear that word why a few times, but essentially what that means is you've got to have a reason for doing this and a driving force. You've got to have a fuel that keeps you going on a day-to-day basis when you don't feel like adulting and CEOing, because those days, as we know, happen all the time and fairly often. You've got to have a reason for wanting to do this, and that reason can grow with time. For me, as a new coach, I simply wanted to just work on myself and alleviate some financial stress in my marriage, which we did. And then in time, I wanted to help pay off some debt during deployment and replace my part-time office income so that I could come home when my husband got home from deployment and we could have more time together. We did that. And then in time, that has grown again as we started to try for a family. I knew that I was going to want to contribute financially in a very steady way that was also growing, and then I'll also be present with my family when the time came. So with time, that why can grow, but just knowing the reason that you're doing this and being aware of that and reevaluating it over time is so important, because that's what keeps you going. And the truly successful coaches in Beachbody are fully aware of what they're working towards, and it's something that is ever present before them on a daily basis, so that they keep going and they stay determined and they stay resilient and consistent and all of those things. Okay, so here's what you need to decide. After hearing those things, if this is something that you're feeling like, I don't know that this is for me, that's fine. Just own it, okay? Reach out to the coach that invited you and say, okay, I don't think this is for me. I either am going to go ahead and bow out, or I'm happy to hear the rest of the information, but I just want to let you know I don't think this is really for me. That's fine, but just let us know. Okay, but on the flip side, if you're saying, okay, yeah, I can do this, or if even a part of you is saying, okay, I think I can figure this out. I know how to work hard. I know how to be consistent. I have a reason for wanting to do this. Then you need to stick with us for the rest of this group. So I'm going to be posting a couple of videos every day, and you can check in when you have time. Just make sure you're checking in daily so that you're plugged in, and don't be afraid to ask any questions. I'm really excited to see if this is something that can benefit you and your family, and thank you for being a part.